Welcome everyone to Lake Harriet Spiritual Community. We're a center of conscious living. Thank you for being here, and thank you for those who are at home watching from the comfort of your living room. I'm Tina Frontera, and I'd like to remind you to turn off your cell phones or turn down the sound if you would, so we could all be present here. I am a registered nurse and a non-denominational minister, and I've been doing this here for, I guess, almost 16 years now. Yeah, and a member since 2003. Wow, time flies. So today's service is a movement and meditation service. It's something that I do every other month. And what we will go through is about 8 minutes of my talking on the topic for today, and then 5 minutes of movement, more talking, more movement, more talking, more movement. We'll end in meditation, and then there'll be a video to watch at the end. And I encourage you after the meditation to open your eyes so you can see the words on the screen and the facial expressions of the people. And hopefully it's not too bright in here to be able to see. So today's theme is service as a tool for spiritual growth. So if we break it down, service, doing something for someone else, whether it's voluntarily, part of your job, or in public service, right? A tool is an instrument, it's a means to an end. Spiritual growth is this lifelong journey that we go through, where we start from our ego, and then gradually we learn gratitude, and then gradually we transform, and gradually then we become connected to our divine self. It's a process. So when we put it all together, service as a tool for spiritual growth, we're putting ourselves out there for others as a tool and a vehicle to grow together, to transform together, and to have us all connect with the divine together and create light. So, Gandhi once said, one of the best ways to find yourself is to lose yourself in service. So there's a story, an editorial that was written by a gentleman in the Star Tribune newspaper a couple of weeks ago. I pull out articles from the newspaper all the time and stick them in a folder because it's like, maybe I can use that someday when I do a talk. And it's a school janitor. And the school janitor wrote about his job. And he said, you know, there's more about being a school janitor than just a mop and this ring of keys. We know more than you would guess, and we see more than what you would know. We are often the first ones in the building every morning, and often the last ones out of the building every evening. We see when a child is having a hard time. We see when a teacher needs some help. We are the keepers of the building, of safety, and of memories. And sometimes it comes with these very special gifts and opportunities, like being able to go into the dumpster garbage to find a kid's braces retainer that he lost or threw away by accident, or finding banana bread on your desk with a note written phonetically by a kid saying, "Thank you for keeping me safe." He says, it's real gold. It's the best job in the entire world. So that job of his, he really got into, and he allowed it to transform him in some way. A simple job. He might not have grown up saying, hey, I want to be a school janitor, but that's what he did, and he really stayed with it and got into it. So Winston Churchill said, we make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. So we earn our success based on our service to others, not at the expense of others. So in service, something sort of shifts in us, right? When we decide to focus on the well-being of something else and their needs, we can put our needs aside. And then meaning fills the space. So there's something called this boomerang effect, where giving actually becomes receiving, right? We become less preoccupied with ourselves, and sometimes our worries and our problems sort of dissolve. Many of them do. And they heal on their own. And somehow, community gets strengthened, and we get strengthened as individuals. So why is this a topic? Because it's hard, and because we forget, right? We're too busy, or we procrastinate, when my ship comes in, when I retire, when I'm done with this thing. We put it off, and we put it off, and we forget about the little things that we can do every day. Barack Obama said, "Don't wait for the good things to happen to you. If you go out and make some good things happen, you'll fill yourself and the world with hope." The key is balancing, right? Our self-care, what we need, because we do have to take care of ourselves, versus what we think we need and our attachments to things. And sometimes we get stuck in just our insular selves rather than looking outside. So with that, I'm going to invite you to do our first movement and stand up. And I like to do things in the beginning to help get us unstuck. So first I'm going to ask you, feet slightly apart, knees slightly bent, and take a deep breath. And imagine yourself as a strong tree in the river, strong and powerful. And take your right hand and put it on the right side of your chest, just below your clavicle and above the chest bone. And massage that little area. That little area is an acupressure point where sometimes people use, it's called the stage fright acupressure point. So if you're feeling a sense of panic, sometimes you can just rub that. It can even look like you're just scratching, right? Nobody needs to know that you are in a panic for some reason or in some fear for some reason. And breathing into that while you're rubbing that can help dissipate that fear and that panic. And let's say you're not quite in much of a panic, but let's just say a little bit. Now go to the middle and tap in the middle. Thymus. It's another tapping point where you breathe into it when there's some anxiety over something that you are about to do or haven't done or wish you would have done or wish you would have said. Breathe and unstick yourself from whatever it is. And now those shoulders, I'm going to ask you to roll them forward, slowly in a circle, because that's where a lot of our attention goes, particularly if you work in front of a computer and you've got those hands in front of you, typing away, or if you're looking at that silly screen all day long. Just roll those shoulders forward a couple more times. And then you're going to reverse and roll those backward. And don't forget to breathe. And now you're going to take those arms out and continue that same motion. However large you could make the circle. Some of you might only be able to go in a small circle. Some might be able to go in a larger circle. Whatever your comfort level is. changing that energy around you. Qigong is about moving energy, moving qi, moving male and female energy, and reverse those circles, and clearing all of that energy, any fog that might be surrounding you, that you're allowing yourself to stay stuck in. Just allow it to go away. Clear it with these circular motions. And now I'm going to ask you to take those hands and slap in front and back. And with these circular motions, you're clearing more of the energy around yourself so that you can allow bright light and love and peace to enter you and your heart. A couple more times. Oh, and now we're going to cup our hands and we're going to slap the back of by our kidneys. And this is often where sometimes we store anger. Anger, sometimes why we have back pain, we may be storing anger. Just breathe into it. Allow those kidneys, those things that get rid of toxins from your body, you pee it all out, just allow them to work. Clear them, whatever anger and fear is hitting you. And then come to your stomach. Same with the stomach. The abdomen also is where that fire in that belly is. Just release that fire in the belly. And come to a stop. And I'm going to invite you now. This is going to be a little harder. It's called the Steps of New Life. And you're going to lift one foot if you can while you're raising your hand. And if you can, and down. I did that wrong. Okay, let's try this again. Up and down. And up, if you can, and down. I'm doing this as part of my physical therapy. Up and down, because I tore a meniscus in the knee doing too much tennis. And what I'm finding is that these balance exercises really help strengthen the lower leg, as well as thinking about breathing in new life. And I'm finding that my dominant knee, which has a torn meniscus, is now my weaker knee. And so we do these exercises as we get older, because as we know, we have a tendency to fall too. So strengthening your balance will help. Okay, I'm getting better as I'm doing this. Okay, one more time. Now I encourage you to take your two thumbs, put them on the inside of your upper eye, hands together. Breathe into this and focus. Focus on forgiveness for yourself, compassion for yourself, love for yourself, so that you have capacity to look outside of yourself. Okay, breathe, and I encourage you to have a seat. So, Muhammad Ali once said, service is the rent you pay for your room in this world. So for me, I try to do something every day for my mind, my body, and my spirit. And some things are easier than others. So for my mind, I read every day. Now, often, like real paper. I'm not talking about a screen. I'm not talking about social media, like something really on paper. So it usually starts with the newspaper. I want to inform myself as to what's going on in the world. And if I can combine that with service, all the better. So if I see something that the U of M is doing a study on people with psoriasis and they need subjects, if I know somebody with bad psoriasis, I might tell them about that. If I see something about a tax break that might benefit somebody, I might let them know that. So you can do a twofer sometimes when you're taking care of yourself, can also think about other people. My body, I try to do something, and I do actually, something for an hour every day. Whether it's strength training, whether it's walking, something every single day. If I can combine that with service, i.e. help somebody move boxes when they're moving, it's still the same physical benefit for me, right? I'm still lifting weights, I'm still getting an aerobic workout, but it's still helping somebody else. And spiritually, yeah, I meditate, but I'm not a real good sitter. So that's why I do the movement meditation. And so what I mostly do is in nature. To me, walking in nature feeds me spiritually. And if I can get a twofer or a threefer out of that, that's even better. So if I can be walking around Cedar Lake with my friend Lily, and we're talking spiritual things, that takes care of my body and my spirit. And if we see a turtle that's about to get run over by a bicycle, and we can save that turtle from getting squished, that was a threefer. That was service. That was taking care of my body, my spirit, my mind. I mean, a little bit of everything. So really, no act of kindness, no matter how small, it should be done. You know, it's never too small. It accumulates. If every one of us does something every day, it grows and it multiplies. And some say that it's an even greater service if no one knows you're doing it, or if they can never repay you. So Jesse Jackson said, "Never look down on anyone unless you can pull them up." So I love doing these services because I research the topic. And another one out of the newspaper I pulled out, there was a truck driver going through Mankato, Minnesota. He had 1.5 tons of perfectly good, chilled Tyson chicken thighs in his truck. And he was making a phone call saying, "I have to put these in a dumpster. Because for some whatever paperwork reason that only makes sense on a spreadsheet, I have to get to the next job with an empty truck, and I need a landfill." So word got out, and it just so happens that there's this network of food savers that happens to be in Mankato, Minnesota. And so those food rescuers went to work. It included food shelf people. It included this guy that sort of triages these phone calls. And they took that 1.5 tons, and they made 3,000 pounds of chicken soup for the Salvation Army. And they gave some of it away to the food shelves. And there's another call. 50 hams are about to be thrown away in a landfill, again, because of some silly thing. And it just so happened that in a 9-month period of time, 30 tons of food were rescued in Mankato, Minnesota. And it's because truckers have these schedules that they have to keep. And they would like to give this away, but it takes time. You know, it takes time out of your schedule. You got to get to the next thing and the next thing. And so much gets just dumped in landfills. Now, I'm not going to go into the reason why we don't have the infrastructure in place or the financial incentives. That's not what I'm going to talk about here. But it's up to us as individuals to do what we can when we hear about some of these crazy situations. And for those doing that work, I can imagine in Mankato, just imagine how gratifying it is. First, they learn, about food insufficiency and what it's like for many young families out there, many elderly out there. And then they have the satisfaction of reducing waste. And then they can also have their hearts touched by making the food accessible to other people. That boomerang effect again. So we can co-create a world together in service. And Buddha said, if you light a lamp for someone else, it will also brighten your path. Okay, I invite you to stand up. And we're going to do our next movement. Same stance, strong stance, knees slightly bent, feet slightly apart. And breathe. And this is going to be connecting exercise. So first breathe and center. You're that strong tree in the stream. Strong, strong. And Gary's going to play the song, I think. And we are going to lift up our arms and open our chest and keep our arms wide and our hearts out as a reminder to lead life with our hearts. And breathe into your heart. And hands up, palms pointed to the sky in a happy Buddha pose. Gathering light from the universe to the palms of your hand. Breathing in that energy. Pointing those palms now towards your head. With the light from the universe now shining down on you and through you. You're going to take those hands and slowly bring them down the front of you, clearing energy, clearing bone marrow, cleansing your entire system, your circulatory system, your nervous system, every organ from top to bottom. You're cleansing and clearing. Now with one hand, pointed to the floor, and the other hand up to the sky. You'll have the energy flow from Father Sky through you to Mother Earth as a conduit of energy and love, bringing it to yourself and shedding it towards Mother Earth. Bringing Mother Earth love, nourishment, everything that Mother Earth has given you, you're giving her in return. Now reverse those hands. One hand up, the other hand down. Same thing, we're taking energy from the universe, Father Sky, the warmth of the sunshine, through us as conduits, and down to Mother Earth in gratitude. All the service she has given you, you are wishing her love in return and sending love her way. Now, both hands together. Hands to your heart in Namaste position, giving gratitude for who you are, all you have, and life on this earth. I encourage you to have a seat. So in psychology, there's this term called generativity, and it's creating a legacy beyond our lifetime. Now, most of you know generally the story of Helen Keller, okay? She was a child, Helen Keller, that was born perfectly normal. Then at age 1.5, she developed a fever. And we still don't know today exactly what that fever was, but at age 1.5, she became blind and deaf. She lived till age 88, blind and deaf. She navigated a world of darkness and silence and became actually one of the most influential people of the 21st century. She had companions that helped teach her with only the senses of touch, smell, and taste. They taught her how to speak and how to read. I can't even imagine. And she said she knows that part of her success was that she was somewhat privileged. To have a companion that had the talents to be able to teach her was phenomenal. The fact that she could accomplish anything, let alone what she did, was absolutely amazing. She wrote 14 books. She gave over 100 speeches. She championed those with disabilities. She was one of the founders of the American Civil Liberties Union. Go figure. And so she led a life to improve the lives of others less fortunate. And she said she always felt intuitively some spiritual presence. Her father was a Presbyterian minister, and it wasn't about religion. And it wasn't about blind acceptance. She said she felt this deep sense of connection somehow. She obviously had to be very intuitive to learn how to speak mostly through that sense of touch. And she said she believed that God is in all things, and that spiritual depth and useful service are inseparable, and they help to grow heaven on earth. So there's this Zen story. Buddha reaches the pearly gates of heaven, and the guard opens the door, and Buddha says, I'm not going in. I'm not going in until every person is liberated. I will enter when the last person follows. So the message that he was getting across there is that our spiritual journey is really linked to the well-being of all beings on this earth, and that we're all interconnected, and that all humans have this need for a collective awakening. And doing it collectively is even more powerful than doing it as individuals. And service can connect us with divine purpose. And it spreads compassion. It improves humanity. It's said that it can liberate the soul. And it's a path to peace for us all. I invite you to get up and do our last movement, and then we'll go into a meditation. Strong tree, again, knees bent, legs slightly apart. So this time we're going to move. Qigong and Tai Chi. Take a deep breath. And I'm going to ask you to take your hands and put them to your chest. And we're going to do something called a cocoon motion. And we're going to slowly take our hands, make a circle, hands together at the top, and down again. And we're going to do about half a dozen of these. Now, just slightly faster. Last one. Now we're going to do a movement called paintbrush hands. We're going to take those palms, point them towards you, wrist up, going up our body, and when you get to the top, palms out. And if you can, as you go down, squat, strengthening those hamstrings. Another one of my PT exercises. Palms towards you. Spreading chi. yin and yang energy, male and female energy. And with those palms out, spreading that to the universe. We'll do two more. One last time. One foot in front of you, off to the side. Clear more energy around you. Doing a backstroke. Those hands behind you. Now I'm going to reverse that. Hands towards you, pulling energy towards you. Bringing it from the universe towards you. Light and energy towards you. You're exchanging light and energy all those around you, with the universe, with all of our interconnected humanness. Okay, back to center, the other foot out, same movement, swim out. Hands are behind us. Now, I'm going to bring your hands back to you and bring that energy back towards you. Other foot in front of you, we're going to do a little Tai Chi. To the beat of the music, however you want to do it. Could be a dancing motion. You can do it with your soul. You can do it playfully. Wherever you want to do it. Okay, the other foot. Center and to stop. Back to center. Arms out. Back to center, but don't touch. We're harvesting energy. harvesting energy into a ball. Opening your heart, focusing energy to your hands, towards that ball of energy that you're creating. Hands out in front. Circle that ball with love. Fill it with love, knowing that you still have a lot of love left for you. You have a lot of love, and you're putting it some in this ball. There's enough for you. There's enough for the entire universe. Hold that ball with love. Give it up to the universe. In service to the universe, wishing the entire world, all that's in it, love and peace. Bringing your hands back together. Back towards your heart. And breathe. And I invite you to have a seat. So we're going to do a few minutes of meditation and be guided at the beginning and then silent. And then at the end, I'm going to ring these chimes, and I'm going to encourage you to open your eyes, because instead of a song, it's a video with words and people, and I'd like you to see those. So everybody has their own way of meditating. I like having my palms up. If I'm not talking, I put my tongue to the roof of my mouth, but whatever works for you. But I encourage you to take a deep breath and just envision that air that you're breathing flowing through your lungs, through your entire circulatory system, out your feet, and surrounding all of you in a safe cocoon of life, light, and love. And with your left hand, think about your ancestors, all of the lives that came before you, and how much they have given you, knowingly or unknowingly, in service to you. Your life, yes. Your genetics, your past, maybe memories that you don't even remember. Think of those generations of love that are coming to you through that left hand. And allow yourself to absorb them, all of their light, pulling for you, sending you love. With your right hand, think of all the generations to come. All that you can do in service and of giving of yourself to help the generations to come and humanity. all of that love flowing from your ancestors through you to future generations, around into a big circle around you, coming back to you. Sit in silence in that circle of love and beauty.
เขาจะได้อะไรถ้าเขาทำแบบนี้ทุกวันเขาจะไม่ได้อะไรเลยไม่ได้รวยขึ้นไม่ได้ออกทีวีไม่มีใครรู้จักไม่ได้มีชื่อเสียงที่มากขึ้นเขาจะไม่ได้อะไรเลยไม่ได้รวยขึ้นไม่ได้ออกทีวีไม่มีใครรู้จักเพราะสิ่งที่เขาได้คือได้แค่ไม่ได้มีชื่อความรู้สึกได้เห็นความสุขได้เข้าใจได้ความรักได้ในสิ่งที่เงินซื้อไม่ได้เพราะสิ่งที่เขาได้โลกที่สวยงามกว่าเดิมความรู้สึกในชีวิตคุณอะไรคือสิ่งที่คุณต้องการมากที่สุด
ไทยประกันชีวิต
ได้ความรัก ได้ในสิ่งที่เงินซื้อไม่ได้ ได้โลกที่สวยงามกว่าเดิม ในชีวิตคุณ อะไรคือสิ่งที่คุณต้องการมากที่สุด
ไทยประกันชีวิต เชื่อในความดี
Well, we were going to try to cut that out, but it's really hard. Who would have thought an insurance company, right? Anyways, Evan found that. Thank you for finding that for us. Okay, let's end in our closing circle. Yes. Okay. So, here we are. Mother, Father, God, Spirit, angels, ancestors, all who love us, thank you. Thank you for all we have. Thank you for life on this earth. And when we walk out of here today, let us remember the kindness, the conduit of service that we can all be. So look someone in the eye today, wherever you are, whether it's Target, whether it's a walk around the lake. Look at them with kindness and love. Aho. Thank you. Whee!